As somebody who has been cutting for 2 years, trying to go from 20% body fat to trying to get leaner from 20% body fat to, let's say, around 10 to 12% body fat, I hit a plateau during those 2 years. Well, I did take diet breaks in between, but still, I did experience a plateau within that cut. And one of the key reasons why that has happened is because I was doing all of the key principles that separates weight loss people from fat loss people. So I was more onto the weight loss side than to the fat loss side. And so in this video, I'll be explaining to you the key differences between weight loss and fat loss, as they are not the same thing. So the first thing about weight loss is the people that are on the weight loss side, they are very driven to the scale. They care too much about the scale, but they do not care about their performance. They don't care about how well their performance is going. They do not care if they're progressively overloading. They don't care how strong they feel in the gym, and they don't care how bad their diet is and they don't really care about their sleep. They just care about the scale going down. That's all they care about. The one thing you guys got to understand is that the scale is not everything. It's not nothing, but it's not everything. We've all seen those type of videos where there'll be someone that will be like in the video, me at 150 pounds. And then you will see them again a year later. And then in the year later, they will still weigh 150 pounds, but they will look completely different. Like completely different. And this is because the scale is not everything. It's not nothing, but it's not everything. But however, the issue with the weight loss people is they think that the scale is everything. Now, the second sign that you're on the weight loss side is you're doing these aggressive deficits. These people do not realize that their weight is not just made up of fat, it's also made up of muscle tissue. Meaning you're on a large risk of losing a shit ton of muscle and barely losing fat along that process. Now, the third sign that you're a weight loss person is your macros are unbalanced, meaning you care too much about hitting your calorie targets every single day without caring about how much protein you're eating, how much fats you're eating, or how much carbs. If you're this person, then there's a good chance that you're eating a high amount of fat and a low amount of carbs. We've all seen these videos where people convince you to try this, keto diet, carnivore, try this low carb diet, avoid carbs, all of this nonsense. I'm here to tell you that this is not actually true. What I realized is that carbs is your best friend when it comes to building an amazing physique, as they maximize performance, they maximize muscle retention and all of these other things, and making you feel good as you lose that weight. And alongside that, obviously, you should aim to eat enough protein every single day, 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2 grams per kg of body weight every single day, to allow your muscles to get repaired after your intense workouts. Now, the fourth and final sign that you're in the weight loss phase is you rely too much on cardio and you don't really weight train properly. Instead of overdoing your cardio, you should be prioritizing both your weight training and your cardio to achieve an appropriate deficit. Not an aggressive one, an appropriate deficit. To do this, you're going to subtract your maintenance calories from 5 to 20% away from your maintenance. Now, moving on to the fat loss side, the first sign that you're in a fat loss phase is you prioritize performance over the scale. And then the scale and the data from the scale comes after prioritizing your all lifts. We are still aiming for a certain rate of weight loss every single week. However, we should also aim to either maintain or build muscle along the process. People don't realize that you can build muscle whilst being on a deficit, especially if you're someone who has a very, very high body fat percentage. And the reason why you can build muscle in a calorie deficit, especially if you're on a high body fat percentage, is because your body taps into the energy that's being stored within the fat as energy used to help fuel your performance. And therefore, this will allow you to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Again, this process is also known as body recomposition. And the second sign that you're in the fat loss phase is having an appropriate deficit and macros. Again, like I said before, we should aim to achieve an appropriate deficit whilst also maintaining or even building muscle along the process, whilst also prioritizing protein, ensuring that protein is high and fat is at its minimal, and carbs and the rest of your calories comes from carbs, as carbs is going to be your main source of energy for fuel, maximizing performance, maximizing muscle retention, etc. Now, the third sign that you're in a fat loss phase is you eat nutrient-dense whole foods 90% of the time, and you also track these foods daily, also known as calories. Again, like I said in these previous videos, tracking your calories is essential for this specific outcome, which is fat loss. It will allow us to guarantee fat loss if being tracked properly and correctly, obviously. Now, the fourth and final sign that you're in a fat loss phase is you get a good amount of sleep every single night. Poor sleep can lead to poor recovery. Poor recovery can lead to low energy. Low energy can kill your workouts. Poor sleep can also lead to high stress, and high stress would lead to high cortisol. High cortisol could lead to more fat storage, as this hormone is responsible for storing fat, especially around the belly area. And it can also affect the hunger hormones, which are the ghrelin and leptin, causing you to feel hungry throughout the day, making it harder for you to stick to your deficit. And it can lead to cravings for junk food. To simply fix this, you're going to aim to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. And the bonus tip as well is to wake up and sleep at the same time to regulate your hormones. Notice how I haven't mentioned sleep in the weight loss section, as these people, they do not care. They don't care about anything else. All they care about is the scale going down and hitting their calorie targets every single day without even caring about their protein intake, their macros, and all of these things. So if you find this video helpful, then don't forget to leave that subscribe button and like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.